Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to everyone around the world. I am your favorite friendly neighborhood beer bro,
Mr. Kennedy!
Yes, and it is good to be back. I have missed you guys. I have missed streaming, and I damn sure have missed my show. And I am back here with episode 13 of the Mr. VG podcast. Got a lot of news here for y'all today. But first and foremost, before I get on with that, I just wanted to update you guys on what I've been doing. The reason why I haven't recorded last week or I haven't streamed all week is because my father was in the hospital, very sick. And my brother and I are going to drop everything that we need to do to make sure that our father is good. I'm not going to go too far into details with it, but it was very touch and go there. He's on the path to recovery. And that's the best news that we've heard all week. And I appreciate everyone, all my closest ones that have sent out good wishes and their prayers. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I love y'all, and it's good to be back. When it comes to me, I found out that my left knee is pretty banged up right now. Went to the doctor and they told me that I have a partial tear in my ACL and a hairline fracture in my knee. I don't know where that came from, but my job does require me to stand the whole entire shift, so maybe it was just gravity and old age. I mean, just telling my body, hey, we can't do this as much as we used to. So that's a shot in the knee every single 2 weeks, and that's doesn't sound fun, but pain is what I'm feeling right now. Pain is what I'm feeling. But like I said, I'm always happy that I can come back and entertain you guys and to do what I do. So let's get on with it. Starting off with the miscellaneous news. Remedy CEO steps down following FBC Firebreak's disastrous launch. Tero Vitala, CEO of Control Developer and Remedy Entertainment, that's the company that makes Control and makes the Alan Wake games, is stepping down from his position immediately. The news comes in the aftermath of the disappointing launch of FBC Firebreak, which is the company's very first multiplayer co-op shooter. Vitala will be replaced by Marcus Maki, Remedy's chief product officer and one of the studio's co-founders. The studio says that it will initiate a search process for a new CEO immediately. Vitala took over the role back in 2016 and was a key figure behind Remedy's transformation over the past decade, as it shifted from a work-for-hire studio to one that develops multiple projects simultaneously and owned and published its own games. So he was a big part of that company for a decade. And it sucks that he felt the need that he had to step down, but you never know what's going on in people's minds. He could be frustrated. He could be burnt out. He could just be tired, because when you work in a company like that, you're going to have a lot of people butting heads, a lot of people disagreeing. You have a lot of minds in the room, and that wears down on you. But I already knew that FBC was going to flop because it's one of those live service co-op multiplayer shooters. And we have so many of those games out here right now. Your game is not going to stand out in a sea of games that we already have. It looks like a lot of other people's stuff already. And when you have Call of Duty, and when you have Fortnite, and when you have PUBG, all of these shooter games that are already successful, going to be hard to get your stuff out there. So it doesn't surprise me that the sales were very weak. If you guys don't know what FBC was or is, it was a spinoff of the Control game. And so it's in the Control universe. You know, that's basically all I know about the game, because I haven't played it. I did take a look at it, and it really nothing to, I would spend my money on, to be honest. That's just my honest opinion, And it just sucks that happens. John Romero is still hoping to salvage his unannounced shooter after it was dropped by Xbox. Y'all remember when I talked about, Microsoft's mass exodus of all of the jobs that they cut, over 9,000 jobs. John Romero was on the cutting block. They pulled a plug on that game because Microsoft didn't want to pay for it. This is what he has to say. We're still figuring out what we're going to do with our big game. We own the IP, we own the code, and we own everything about the game. So we have a lot of companies that are interested in still working with us on it. Because when you develop a game for years and you put in, say, $50 million into a game, if you move and start working with somebody else, they get $50 million for free. Lots of people want to continue working on something, and even if it doesn't happen, you have $50 million worth of assets that you can use to make another thing. Boy, he loves throwing around that $50 million. It sucks for the game developers, because I used to work security at EA. I mentioned this before, and I used to walk the floors. And I know how much work that those developers would put in when they were dealing with mocap, when they were dealing with audio, when they were doing with coding for the games. They put a lot of time into that. And I think that they unfairly get a lot of flack when it comes to games, because y'all got to remember, when these games come out, it's not anything that the developers are doing. They have a time limit. When the company, the people at the top say, we want this game out by Christmas, whether it's finished or not, this is what the people above them are saying. So they're going to do what their bosses say. So I think that a lot of times the developers themselves get they get a lot of flack from us gamers. So when I talk about shit, when I talk about shitty companies doing us dirty and nickel and diming us and giving us half-ass games, I'm talking about the people above them, the people at the top that are trying to rush things and not letting these developers work on the game the way that they're supposed to. Sometimes when you have something good, you're going to have to work a long time. And I would much rather wait 3 years for a game or 4 years for a game and make sure that everything is good and everything is worked out in it than to get a game right away that is full of bugs. And that's the way that it has been. So I hope he gets his game out, because if he really did put 50 million into a game, that's a lot of money that went down the drain. This is probably the biggest story that I have. Amazon. The reason why I'm even talking about these guys is because it has to do with gaming. So I will talk about it. Amazon reportedly gutting its video game division as part of 14,000 jobs being cut worldwide. Stephen Boom, Amazon's vice president of audio, Twitch, and gaming, wrote, "While we're proud of our successes in our first-party AAA game developments and publishing, we have made the difficult decision to halt a significant amount of our first-party AAA game development work, specifically around MMOs, with Amazon Game Studios including making significant role reductions in our studios in Irving and San Diego, as well as our central publishing team. Amazon Games is behind MMOs like New World and the untitled Lord of the Rings game." And that's why I wanted to talk about that, because New World is no longer getting any updates. This comes straight from Amazon. After 4 years of steady content updates and a major new console release, we have reached a point where it is no longer sustainable to continue supporting the game with new content updates. So if you're the person that plays New World, which I know a lot of people do, a lot of people stream it on Twitch, which is an open world game. We have a lot of those, but yeah, a lot of people like it. You will no longer be getting updates. And it's most likely have to do with the fact that they just gutted their gaming division. So that sucks that you're going to have 4 years of this game just go down the drain, because when a company says you're not getting any more updates, that's pretty much the writing on the wall for a game. That means that it's getting ready to go bye-bye. And that sucks. Again, I remember reading that wasn't just the only amount of jobs that was cut. That's just their gaming division. But Amazon altogether, I think it was like 33,000 jobs. That includes a lot of white collar jobs in marketing and stuff like that. It's getting very bad out here. Every time you turn around, companies are gutting they're getting rid of people. They're trimming the fat from all of the people that they hired over the pandemic. And it sucks. It sucks. So as of now, they just launched season 10, which is Night Haven. That update will serve as the final content release for New World on PC and consoles. It is only after much consideration that we reached this decision. To thank you for the New World community for your support over the years. We have made the Night Haven release available to you for free to ensure that New World players can experience this content. We also made Rise of the Angry Earth free for all PC players, so you can pick up the DLC free. So that's good that they did that. But yes, just know if you play that game, there will be no more updates. It'll probably be shut down very soon, and that sucks to hear that. Halo is coming to PlayStation for the first time, and it has Xbox fans up in arms. Man, you should see the tweets. You should see the tweets. I know I should stay off X or Twitter or whatever the hell, the artist formerly known as Twitter. We'll just call it that. I should stay off of there because I know that a lot of people post very stupid shit. But you have a lot of Microsoft fans, like they're so pissed off that Halo is going to, the console wars is over. And I can't believe that Microsoft will betray us like that. They're actually saying shit like this. Like, holy crap, you would think that Microsoft broke into their house and robbed them blind. This is not the first time that we've had games that are cross-platform. How many games have we had that over the past 30 years? Come on, man. Exclusivity has been dead for years. I'm tired of this tribalism that we got. It's with everything. With wrestling fans, you can't be a WWE fan and AEW fan and New Japan and TNA. You can't just be a wrestling fan. You have to pick a side. If you're an AEW fan, they piss on WWE. WWE pisses on AEW. And I'm just like, I'm in the background like, can I just like all of wrestling? Like, why can't I just be a wrestling fan? But you have these people that carry these torches for these companies like, damn, like they built the company. Like they literally work for the company and they get paid from these guys. Like, come on, man. I don't see what the big deal is about Halo going to the PlayStation. It's just more people that can get their hands on it. That's what a company does. You want to make sure that your product gets to as many people as they can possibly get them to, so that you can make as much money and maximize the amount of fan base that you have. That's the goal at the end of the day. So I would just say chill out with that stuff, man. Damn. Take the stick out of your ass and relax. Have a Coke and smile and shut the hell up. Halo will come to PS5. It's called Campaign Evolved. It was just announced that the 2001 remake. So it's a remake of the first one from 2001. It is slated for release in 2026. Doesn't have an official date, but it's going to be on PS5, Xbox, and PC, featuring a brand new prequel missions, split screen co-op, new weapons, visual and audio updates, and more. So if you're a fan of Halo, you will be able to play it on PC. You will be able to play it on Xbox. You will be able to play it on Sony. It doesn't say anything about Nintendo, but you know how that is. Excuse me. Yeah. So it doesn't give us an exact date, but when we get that date, I will be sure to let y'all know. Resident Evil Requiem is up for Requiem. I'm sorry. Requiem. I had Requiem on the mind. Resident Evil Requiem. It's up for pre-order now. And we have a standard edition and a deluxe edition. February 27th, 2026 is when it's going to be released. But it's up for pre-order in the PSN store. There's a standard edition available for $69.99 and a slightly pricier edition for $79.99. If you order the standard edition, you will get the base game along with a bonus costume for the protagonist Grace called Apocalypse. If you order the deluxe edition, you will get 5 costumes, 4 weapon skins, 2 Apocalypse screen filters, Mr. Raccoon charms, Raccoon City Classic audio pack, and letters from the 1998 files. So if you're the type of person that likes to get these deluxe editions where you get books and CDs and, you know, stuff that you won't get with the base game, it's surprisingly cheap. Yo, hurrah. You know, congratulations to Capcom for saying we're not going to dick you over. You know, we're just going to make it $80. That's not too bad. Not too shabby. But yes, now you can pre-order it. Now, while I said that Capcom won't dig us over, in the same sentence, remember I talked about on the last episode about Capcom charging for people to watch Street Fighter 6 finals on stream? Capcom refuses to back down on crazy Street Fighter 6 pay-per-view plan. This is what Capcom has to say. The decision to introduce pay-per-view live streaming for the Capcom Cup 12 and Street Fighter League World Championship 2025 stems from our commitment to promote our esports business in a sustainable manner over the medium to long term. Our goal is to grow these tournaments into internationally competitive events by reinvesting into participating players and teams, our partners, and related business areas. We sincerely acknowledge the many opinions we have received from everyone and are carefully discussing the matter with all relevant parties. As a result, the coordination process is taking some time. So in other words, you can kiss our ass. We're not going to change our prices. We got your money. If you want to watch us, you're going to pay to watch us, and you're going to do it, and you're going to like it. That's basically what they wanted to say. We heard your opinions. We're not going to do anything about it, but we heard your opinions. So yeah, whatever. Just keep it moving. Nothing to see here. I still don't understand the point of charging people to watch a stream. I mean, don't we get enough of that already with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all of that stuff, YouTube TV and all that bullshit? You're going to charge people to watch a tournament about Street Fighter 6? Get the fuck out of here. Blood Rain. Man, that is a game that I haven't talked about in a long time. Well, the Blood Rain Definitive Collection, a physical edition, which I'm even more surprised about, is coming to the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch. All 3 games, Blood Rain 2, and Blood Rain Betrayal, Fresh Bites, are featured in the collection. The first 2 are the revamped editions released for modern platforms a few years ago. The physical release is the first time all 3 titles have been made available in a single package. The physical editions will be up for pre-order at a later date. For more details, follow soon. If you have not played the Blood Rain games, I don't know what you're doing with your life. They were a lot of fun for me. I had the second one. I believe, the second one for PS2. It was a lot of fun. You know, you go around as the sexiest vampire out there, cutting up enemies and draining their blood for health, going through different missions and stuff. It was cool. I played Blood Rain Betrayal as well too back on the PS3. And if you like that Castlevania feel, you guys will feel right at home. Holy hell, that game is difficult. That game is difficult. I died so many times playing that game. You know, it's a lot of platform jumping, a lot of enemies that drain your energy, and it's just crazy. It's like I said, that Castlevania feel like that cartoon 2D style look. It's a lot of fun. So if you guys want to get your hands on it, and it would be perfect for the Nintendo Switch to be able to take on the Go. It's gonna be up for pre-order. So there you go. Let's move on to Xbox. Yes, got a couple of notes here for y'all today. Microsoft confirms next gen Xbox console is in development. Xbox president Sarah Bond confirms Microsoft is currently developing its next gen console in an interview with Variety. This is what Bond had to say. We have our next gen hardware in development, while outlining some of Xbox's plans beyond its recently released handhelds. While she didn't go into specifics, she did mention that the company has at least begun designing and prototyping. Bond also said that Xbox is partnering with AMD on the project and will make an announcement about that partnership before long. So, they are developing their new console. We've been hearing the stuff about the PS6. So is there any surprise that Microsoft would try to one up them or try to do something to keep the spotlight on them? It's funny that I mentioned this, that they're talking about the next console was in development, when I have an article here that's saying Microsoft Xbox console sales fall 29% as gaming content and services revenues tick up. Microsoft reported in its latest quarterly earnings result Wednesday, revealing that gaming revenue decreased $113 million, which is 2%. The tech company attributed the decline to a nearly 30% drop of Xbox hardware sales, offset in part by growth in Xbox content and services. Holy crap. Revenue from Xbox content services, which include Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, services, and sales from first-party video games, was $5.5 billion from July to September. So Xbox consoles have fallen 29%, which means they're not selling shit. In fact, some of their consoles are being pulled from stores. Like literally, some of these stores don't even have Xbox stuff selling there. I told y'all about the Costco stuff, and they still haven't given any reason as to why. There are no Xbox consoles. But they're making a new console after they just did the handheld after that. 29% down? They better pray. They better get down on their knees and pray that this handheld is going to be successful. And if they do come out with new hardware, because for a while now, I've been hearing people say, oh man, the Xbox is done, because they focus on the Game Pass. That's all they care about, is getting the Game Pass on everything. You very rarely hear about hardware, about what they plan to do with consoles. That's not good. That's a lot of money that they lost. $113 million? Damn. Holy crap, that sucks. But according to Sarah Bond, the next console is in development. Former ZeniMax developers who were fired by Xbox create a new company called Sackbird Studios. Sackbird CEO Lee Ridout spoke on the matter. The founding team formerly leads and key contributors on Elder Scrolls Online and core developers from the ambitious but ultimately canceled project Blackbird described the new studio as a developer-first environment with a long runway and a tight senior development team. Currently under 10 people. The cancellation under Project Blackbird While disappointing, inspired the founders to build a studio designed to avoid many of the pitfalls they've experienced across the industry. This is what they had to say. We're grateful for our time at ZeniMax Online Studios. It shaped us as developers and as people. When I learned that Blackbird was being canceled and a lot of people were losing their jobs, it lit a fire. We realized that the best way to protect our craft and our team was to create a studio where creative independence isn't negotiable. Good for them. Good for them. You know, because that's the best approach that you can take when you take shit like that. When you lose your job, you're like, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to create my own business to make sure that this does not happen again. I like to hear stuff like that, and I wish them all the success in the world, because it's easy to give up when you lose your job and it's just like, oh, my life is over. No, they didn't do that. They're like, we're going to use this to create our own thing, and it's going to be a developer first environment. So to make sure that none of that corporate bullshit happens to them again. So good for them. Let's move on to the world of Nintendo. Now, I normally don't talk about things like this because I'm not a sponsor. I don't get paid by this company. I have nothing to do with them. But I did feel the need to mention it in case you were a struggling parent that was trying to figure out how you was going to get your kid a console and keep them from climbing the walls like Spider-Man. If you want to get yourself a free Nintendo Switch right now, you have up until November 25th to do so, to claim the promo. All you have to do is sign up for an internet plan with Verizon Wireless, keep your account in good standing for 14 days, and you get to keep your Nintendo Switch. After those 14 days, you can cancel the plan, keep your system, and avoid having to pay almost $400 for a new console, because God knows in this day and age, with the economy being what it is and the government shutdowns, a lot of people can afford to buy this stuff. So this may be your way to do so. So I just thought I would let you guys know about that. Again, you have up until November 25th to claim this. More on the Nintendo Palworld lawsuit. It may be in trouble after a patent that was filed by Nintendo was rejected by the JPO, which is the Japan Patent Office. Back in March 2024, Nintendo filed a patent that describes the act of catching a character in a game in a method that appears to be similar to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee games. The patent describes the mechanic causes the computer to, when the capture item hits the field character, makes a capture success determination as to whether the capture is successful. If the computer decides that the capture was successful, it will then set the field character hit by the capture item to be owned by the player. The application also describes numerous other situations, including using a similar mechanic to hit characters with items which can restrict the movement of the field character on the field. As I said before, the JPO denied Nintendo's patent application back last month in October 2025, which belongs in the same family as several other filings cited in the Nintendo and Pokemon Company's lawsuit against Palworld, which was deemed not novel enough to qualify as an original invention. The examiner referenced multiple games prior that used the same system, including Monster Hunter 4, Arc System Evolved, Kantai Collections, Gratopia, and Pokemon Go. Nintendo has up to 60 days from the decision to amend or appeal the rejection, which would extend this window to late December 2025. So there you go. The reason why the JPO rejected the patent is because they point blank said that it's not an original idea. Nintendo did not create the capture system. Other games had used it before Nintendo had it. So what did Nintendo think that they were going to do? Seriously, Like they don't own the idea. So they had to know that there was a chance that that was going to be rejected. Just because you popularized it does not mean that you own it. So things may be looking up for Palworld. I will keep you guys updated on that whole thing. But it's not looking too good for Nintendo. If you are looking forward to Elden Ring on the Nintendo Switch 2, there is some bad news for you guys. It has been delayed until 2026. No actual date was given, but this is what they had to say. The Elden Ring Tarnished Edition continues wholeheartedly towards release. We have decided to move the launch to 2026 to allow time for performance adjustments. We apologize to players looking forward to the game and thank you for your patience and your support. So, they're basically telling you that they just need more time to make sure that the game is optimized for the Nintendo Switch 2. And to that, I say, take your time. Because as I said earlier, I would much rather them take their time to make sure that the game works than to rush it and it's all buggy. Again, they didn't say when, because that can be anywhere from January to December of next year. It just says 2026. When I get the news on when they plan on releasing it, I'll let y'all know. Nintendo wins yet another lawsuit. This one, I just laughed because the balls on this guy. Like, I think people, as my grandfather used to say, get too big for their britches. It's like Nintendo has won a lawsuit against a streamer who pirated games and live streamed them ahead of their release dates. The pirate Jesse Every Game Guru, Cajun, I guess that's how you pronounce his last name, infamously wrote to Nintendo boasting that he had 1,000 burner channels to stream from and threatened to continue to use them, saying that he could do this all day. Nintendo also reported that Keegan sent them that same email saying that you might run a corporation, but I run the streets. He has now been reported to pay $17,500 in damages. It was reported that Cajun avoided Nintendo's attempts to serve him, which led to the company to request a default judgment in April of this year, requesting $17,500 from the defendant, a steep drop from the original lawsuit's terms, which could have ended up in the millions. An injunction stopping them from the use of emulators and requesting the hardware and softwares used to be destroyed, as well as an injunction of any third parties working with Cajun. So he fucked around and found out. When you think that you're bigger than a corporation and then you get taken down, that's on you. I can't believe he had the balls to even say something like that, sending Nintendo emails and saying shit like that. What did you think that they were going to do? That's just like playing hide and seek and standing out in the middle of nowhere and saying, here I am with flashing lights. And you got. Good for you, you stupid idiot. And last but not least, out of the world of Nintendo and straight into the vortex that is PlayStation. Looks like Sony is beefing up its PlayStation Portal by adding the cloud service that will allow you to stream PlayStation 5 games without having to be connected to your PS5. But there's a catch, because there's always a catch. You can only use this feature if you are a PS Plus Premium member. That means if you have any other tiers in this service, you will not be able to use it. But if you are a Plus Premium member, then you will be ecstatic to hear that. That's good news for you, because you'll be able to stream games like Astro Bot, Borderlands 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Ghost of Yate, among thousands of other games. Why Sony won't let everybody that has a PlayStation Portal be able to use this feature? Corporate greed. Y'all know how it is, man. They want you to pay that top dollar for that top tier to get these top features. It's bullshit. Hopefully they'll change their mind on that. but it is cool that they're starting to implement that for the PlayStation Portal. Fallout fans, I feel bad for you guys. You know, I can only imagine the looks on people's faces and how their hearts dropped. Going to these shows and expecting a new Fallout to be announced only to be told that Fallout 76, the PS5 version, is coming out. I can only imagine what they were thinking, like, that's it? That's what you guys wanted to tell us? Another Fallout 76 is if we need another version of that broken ass game. Whatever. During Fallout Day broadcast 2025, Fallout 76 production director Bill Lacoste and creative director John Rush took to the stage to reveal new updates for its ever-growing RPG. At the end of their part of the stream, it was revealed that a native PS5 version of Fallout 76 will be coming early next year. This is what they had to say. Early next year, a native version of Fallout 76 will be coming to the Xbox Series X and S and PS5. This update will take full advantages of their hardware capabilities. It's not what people wanted to hear. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just kind of rolling their eyes at that because they've been milking this game dry for years now. And take advantage of their hardware capabilities with a broken system like that. Y'all been using the same engine for years. Y'all got the stuff that goes with the Elder Scroll games, Skyrim. Y'all can't keep getting away with that. What the hell happened with Elder Scrolls 6? I read on that they said it's still a long ways off. They have nothing. Bethesda has nothing but to just keep relying on the same shit over and over and over again. And people are getting tired of it. But if you're excited for that, you must be jumping for joy. I'm sure all 5 of you are happy. If you got the Sony PlayStation 4 and 5 version of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, a lot of people have been complaining about the lag issues and performance issues to the point where Sony was issuing refunds for the game. A lot of people are saying like it's downright unplayable. It's lagging, and the overuse of AI for a lot of the characters, it looks very, very bad. And it's like, I don't even understand how that's even possible. These are old games. These are very old games. Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4, Mortal Kombat Mythologies, Mortal Kombat 4. These are all the 90s. How the hell can it lag on the hardware that we have now? Now, I'm only hearing this from the PlayStation side. I don't know what's going on with Xbox. I don't know what's going on with PC because I don't have it yet. But get your shit together, man. At least Sony is offering refunds. I wanted to talk about this, the video game history segment, because I wanted to shine some light on Sony's best console that they have ever created. One of the best consoles of all time. October 26th, last month, 2000, marked the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation 2. And I will tell you this, the PlayStation 2 was fucking awesome. And I just wanted to take time to talk about my memories of the system. Also released that day was the GameCube, the Nintendo GameCube, which was also a great system. But we're not talking about that. It took me a while to get the PS2. I was pretty much an adult. By the time I got one, I had to buy one myself because I had the PlayStation 1 a while. But I had so many games for it. I had all of the Onimusha games, Onimusha 1, 2, 3, and Dawn of Dreams, which is a criminally underrated game. A lot of people need to play that. It's a lot of fun. I played all the Devil May Cry games, 1, 2, and 3. For that, it was great. I played Resident Evil 4, played the shit out of that on there. I had some Japanese imports like Blood Plus. That's where I first played Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, 2. Just a collection of great games. Like, it just destroyed this competition, man. Like, there was nothing that Nintendo could put out there that was going to top that. There was nothing that Sega was doing or any of these other consoles that were out here that could top the PS5. And it's just crazy that 25 years have gone by. And I love that system to death. It had a long life to it. And there were games still coming out even at the end with the WWE games. I was playing a lot of, the SmackDown versus Raw games that came out on PS2 and just having so much fun with it. And it's a great system and it's one of the best of all time. And I just wanted to share some of my memories with y'all on that. That is it for episode 13 of the Mr. VG podcast. It is good to be back. I love you guys. And I will be back tomorrow for Resident Evil Tuesdays because we're going to get into some more Resident Evil 1 remake because I have to finish that up. And then I will return after that because I have to put up episode 4 of the Forgotten Video Game of the past episode. I didn't get to that. I got to get on that. If you guys didn't check out that series, it's a lot of fun. If you got some, quick time to waste, take a trip down memory lane with me and talk about games that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have forgotten about and don't talk about anymore. You guys have a good day. Y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see y'all later.